Jennifer, I just want to welcome you to the Wishbeads podcast. I have to tell you, I was so tickled when I got your letter that you wrote me explaining that you were convinced. Well, I don't even want to give it away. You just wrote me an adorable letter. As you can see, we're very themed here today on Wishbeads, wearing our Washington Nationals gear. I'm from Washington, D.C. So why don't you just, without me spilling the beans, can you share a little bit of your story?
Yes, I will. Thank you for having me on the podcast. I was thrilled to get my Wishbeads, and I use them for the ultimate purpose. We wound up, I got my Wishbeads, and about 2 days after I got my Wishbeads from my aunt for my birthday, we started to, my team, the Washington Nationals, were in the playoffs. And you know, just because I didn't really have anything I intensely wanted for myself, I kind of was like, if we're supposed to win this series, and I actually meant that series, then I'm going to put it in here and I'm going to wish about it every day. I'm going to think about it and meditate on it. And so I'm a teacher. I go to school. The kids saw my bracelet and they asked about it. And when they asked about it, I would explain, you know, what it was and what I was doing, and the parents would hear me and the parents would say, that's awesome, that's hilarious. But when we started winning a lot. We beat people that were like, oh, you're it's okay, you really think you're gonna win, and they like pat you on the head. The Dodgers.
The Dodger fans, which by the way, I'm in Los Angeles, so we played, and I'm from Washington, D.C., and the Washington Nationals haven't won the World Series. And for people that are not even familiar what sport we're talking about, this is baseball. But we hadn't won since when? Like forever.
You guys in the 30s.
In the 30s,
and
okay.
It was before the World Series was called the World Series.
Right.
So
this was a long shot for certain.
Yes, and it was pitiful. They like literally they weren't razzing us or anything. They saw people dressed up at the game and they're like, oh, we just feel sorry for you. Do you really think you're gonna win? And we're like, no, but we're just happy to be here. So we were just thinking, like, however long this lasts, we're riding this positive, fun thing for our city. And so every time we won, like literally I'd come into school and the parents would be like, did you wear your beads last night? And I was like, yes, I did. So they're like, and like I had a dinner. I think I told you this too. I had a dinner that I had to go to with parents, and it was an event that you dress up, and the beads didn't really go with my outfit if I didn't wear them. And we lost that night, hardcore. and like everybody was like, they were all at the dinner. They were all parents, so they knew I wasn't wearing my beads, and they totally blamed on the beads, and we were having fun with it. But when we got to the World Series, we were, you know, nobody won a home game the entire series, not Houston, not DC. So everybody's like, oh no, you know, like people rubbing the beads, and like we were still in it and we were excited, but you know, we thought this is the wave. We rode it in. It was fun while it lasted. And we got, we're sitting there, we're watching the game on TV because, you know, it's in Houston that we won on the road. And they won the World Series, and we were so excited. We were jumping around, and I got my coat on to go to the store because it's like Black Friday. You can go to the store anytime when you win the World Series. And right around here, and when I put my coat on, literally my beads just burst off my arm and fell on the floor, like as if to say, I have no more mojo. We've done our job. And so like I had to move. I have to move. My husband is military, so we're fixing to move. And like we had a lot going on. It was such an exciting night. I just bagged everything up and put it aside. And when I got to thinking about it later on, I was talking to my aunt, and I sent it to you and wrote you the story. And I'm so glad that you liked the story.
I did. I mean, I literally got your story. And besides the fact that I'm from DC, and I totally got Nationals fever around the time, you know, leading up to the World Series and the series itself, I also just loved, I could feel through your note, this energy and your enthusiasm that I literally picked up the phone and I called you. You know, I was just like, I need to hear your story because there's so many different aspects about this that I love. And I love this engagement piece. You know, that like, I don't know, was it the bracelet? Who knows? But the whole fun of being able to be a participant in that ride, not just as a fan, but feeling like you have this touchstone of what you're imagining and you're putting your energy, your positive energy into it, and other people are talking about that. And when you sent me the bracelet, I was like, okay, now we're going to repair this. And it is not the first time I have heard, by the way, that after something comes to fruition, like your wish does come true, the bracelet literally just goes like pop, or it like falls off, or it's just like there's this expenditure of energy. I don't know what that is. And as you know, at Wishbeads, we do repairs so we can like fix it and make it all better. But I just love that. And I also loved that, you know, now it's time for you to find a wish that maybe is for you. You now know the power. So what are you going to do for yourself?
I don't know. I've been thinking about it, and it just seems like such an awesome power to wield. So I have to really think about what I want, because most of the time I just feel grateful because I live a very nice life and I don't really want for a lot of things. And so it was kind of fun for me to put the wish in there that really had to do with more of a community event. And I really love that. So we're moving from, you know, DC to Florida, and it's always tough when you're military family moving from place to place. You know, I'm a people person, so I really love just being in a community with people, and going from a lot of community to no community at all is difficult. I think that what I'm going to put in there is that this is a smooth transition for me socially, and, you know, and that I make friends when I get down there fairly easily, and, you know, without a lot of, you know, I get a little sad if I'm by myself. So I like to make sure that, like, maybe that's my next wish. My wish will probably be for, like, you know, friends in my new home.
Yeah. And I mean, you have such a beautiful energy, and I want to invite you into like literally participating in the Wishbeads community at the very least. You always have a virtual home here, whether it's on our Facebook group or on Instagram, or, you know, just being in touch with me. Honestly, you're obviously someone who is such a giver, you know, being a teacher, being in the military, your family, you know, just the kind of energy that you share and you exude. I'm so supportive and so impressed. And I also invite you, even as you have this idea of having a smooth transition, making friends easily, to go back and maybe do the guided visualization. I know you have the Wishwork book, but taking that moment to get quiet, even on our free app, you can do. Yeah, look at you. And it's so on brand with the Nationals, right?
I know, right?
But you
no curly W, but
yeah, you can do the visualization to see, what does that moment really look like for you? What does it feel like for you when you are in Florida with your new friends, with your new community, and see if you can find some insight. You know, all of us have the ability to kind of not just be creative, but even be a little bit psychic, or a little bit, I don't know, just sort of imagine, use your creativity. And then in that moment, it'll give you clues as to what you're really looking for. So it may be something like, I'm about to start next month a ceramics class, you know, for fun. And maybe I'll meet some new friends in that environment because we have a shared interest. So you can start to feel, what would that look like? Where might I find my new pals? Because I have no doubt that you are going to find friends. But maybe it can help be that bridge, you know, from when you arrive to really when you find your groove.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm not worried about it so much, but it's nice to have like sometimes the Wishbeads will make me think about things that I'm not thinking about. Like, I just look down and I think about it when I wouldn't have given any thought to it.
Sure.
So, because I know what wish is in there. And so I'm sending positive vibes to that wish without even thinking about it, because, you know, so you get busy. every day you're busy, you're thinking about a million different things. And if you really want to put positivity towards a choice, or, you know, a vibe towards something that you feel needs good vibes, it's nice to have the little reminder on your wrist to help you remember and go back. And you're like, oh yeah, I really want that for me, for the community. And so I feel like it's nice. I'm not really worried about making friends. I really want to make friends, but like, I'm not really worried about it, because I think it'll happen. It happens in its time. And luckily I'm going with my best friend, who is my husband. So like, I already have one.
Oh, I love that so much. That's so amazing. I also think I'm so excited for you that you're in the teaching profession, because if you're living your life about that idea of your positive energy is an intention that you set, it's what you put out into the world. How do you teach that to your students? How does that show up as a layer in your teaching with your students?
Well, I think that the way that I treat them and the way that I show respect to them is just another way that they can see. I mean, you learn through examples. I mean, a lot of people do. A lot of people don't just intuitively wake up knowing what to do in every situation. So if you're given poor examples, that's probably what you think the world should be like. So I feel like if I live my life the way I live my life, with positivity and with respect of others, and you know, then I feel like it's gonna just flow through me, and they're gonna understand just by, you know, just by being in my classroom, how you treat other people. I don't have to say this is how we treat other people, because they watch me do it. I've seen people say this is how we treat other people and then turn around and not do what they said. So I hardly ever make it a real lesson. I kind of just let be its own lesson.
Oh, I think it's so, yeah, it's so beautiful. And you're right, because kids are so smart and they're watching us, and our parent and the parent community, everyone's, you know, has an eye on what's happening. And the golden rule is golden for a reason. It is so simple that, you know, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And if you follow that, it's just common sense. Where are you putting your energy? Where are you putting your intentions? I often say, even though I know that the myth was that, you know, maybe Wishbeads helped the Nationals win, who knows, but the magic is inside of you. And I love that even your experience with Wishbeads and this journey to the World Series, it really put you as a participant in that, in a really fun kind of creative way. And that can be the same journey, whether you're wishing for a team, you're wishing for the world, you're wishing for yourself, you're wishing for a loved one. There is this game that you play, and it's a game you can win because the magic is inside of you. And your life is comprised of all those tiny choices that you make throughout the day. It's not the big milestones. It's just not when you just achieve something. It's how you feel and how you show up every day. And we're all gonna, you know, have negative moments, you know, but it's how you handle them, and it's how you course correct and get yourself back into that positive mindset.
Yeah, it's so much easier. It's so much easier to be happy. It is just so much more easy to be positive. Some people will say it's gullibility, but I say like it's happiness, because am if I am just happy, I'm not carrying around all the burdens of anger, because you would not believe how many, it's so heavy to carry around, you know, anger and regret. It's just much easier and ultimately happier and better for me if I just live like, that's why I love being a school teacher, because you know what, adults will carry that around. It's unfortunate that as you get older you carry it all around, because when we're kids, and I see it every day, they don't carry anything from day to day. You are their best friend the minute you walk in that door, even if you had to sit them in timeout yesterday.
Oh, I'm so grateful you're a teacher. I'm so grateful. And I'm grateful for you as a military family, for the brave, brave, brave work that you do. And how lucky we are as a country for your service and your support, especially as your husband is engaged, you know, I'm sure in all kinds of ways in the military, and the sacrifices you make, and then again, your perspective about it, like, okay, I'm off to a new thing. It's such an honor, and I really, really appreciate that. And I'm just so grateful you've taken the time to share your story, because it's
Thank you for inviting me to share it. I thought it was pretty special. I was like, well, I mean, like, she might get these all the time, and you probably do. I think when you're positive, positivity follows you around. But like, I feel like I felt like it was such a special story, and it was so, it was so fun that it was almost unbelievable. And I'm like, it's not unbelievable though. Like my husband, I'm like, look, all the beads fell on the floor, and he's like, oh no. And I'm like, doesn't matter, we won. So so
Yeah, it really is like a release. I mean, on a technical note, I do encourage people every day to tighten their bracelets. So literally if the clasp falls off, like there is a real thing there. But so many people, I did a podcast interview with my mother-in-law, Esther, who's amazing. She didn't tell anybody her wish. She had a custom wish bead bracelet. She wore it every day for 2 years. And in that wish, I interviewed her so I can now share this. Her wish was to go to London. She wanted to travel to London her whole life. And for various and sundry reasons, she never did. She made it to London, was having the trip of a lifetime, and her bracelet fell off.
that's
In London.
yeah.
And she was like, I've loved this bracelet. I've worn it every day for 2 years. And she said, but there's something to the fact that like it came true and it released, it just was like,
Yeah.
my work here is done. So
Exactly. It was like, and I am spent. I felt like it's such a little bracelet for so much power. I mean, the whole city can be grateful to this bracelet.
okay, we'll just share the word. We will just share the word. There's one other little aspect, Jennifer, that I want to talk to you about. And that is the courage to share your story. So you asked if I do get stories, and I do. People share their wishes with us. They share their stories with us. We're really focused this year on capturing those stories and sharing them to inspire other people. But there's also a day in the Wishwork, and I don't remember which day it is, maybe 17, I'm not sure, I have to go back and look, where it's saying your wish out loud. And there's this moment of courage that you need to summon, because sometimes when we really, really want something, we stay very private about it. We stay very coveted because what if your wish doesn't come true? Or what if someone laughs at you or judges you or is jealous of you or thinks that you're weird, or all the things, right? All the little negative things that can pop up in your mind. But there is such power in just saying it, because it's in saying it that you are, one, putting that kind of stake in the ground that says, no, I really want this thing and I'm going to do things to make it happen. But two, you're also finding the people that are going to help you make your wish come true. So, you sharing your wish with someone about really finding a community, you do that in your community in Florida, you can find people that are like, I would love to invite you to my book club or this thing or that thing. But I so admire your courage. And you live that way, in that courageous way, to write the letter to me, to share with people what you're doing, to share it with the parent community, to share it with the kids. And it's a wonderful example, because it's so easy in our culture to find camaraderie in complaining. But instead, you're finding the camaraderie and the connection in the positive steps, being happy, living by the golden rule, sharing this fun thing that you're doing. It's really, I know that this is your default way of being. It's mine as well. But I think that there's so much to be learned by that shining example.
Well, and to that point, they have a saying, and it's called "misery loves company." But I think, and I'm an example of this. I think happiness loves company too. I seek out happy people. I seek out people that are positive, because I need their positivity as much as they need mine.
Yep. And everybody needs positivity, because if we truly wish to change the world, the only solution is to change ourselves. It's the only way. And it's the collective experience of that is going to create that popcorn effect, where people are going to be like, oh, this isn't so hard. I can make a little shift in my life and suddenly feel a little more positive energy. Yes, there are things that are weighing us down or keeping our minds foggy. But if you start to really take a compassionate assessment of what's making you happy and what's dragging you down, you can just start doing more of those activities that are making you feel a little bit happier, right? And
right.
It's super common sense stuff. And yet many people want to just, blame circumstances or blame other people or blame our government or blame whatever. And the truth is, it's really up to us. It really is.
It is, and it's easier to blame someone else than be introspective, and you can kind of see that across the board. A lot of people have a hard time looking at themselves. It's easy to look at other people because, you know, like, we're built for that. We're looking outward all the time. So it's hard to be introspective. It wasn't until mirrors came along we even knew what we looked like. So I think it's kind of nice that, like, I love finding positive people because I'm a positive person, and I like to see, I mean, I look for that because I think, you know, it's a little bit of you. You can see the connectiveness. You understand them at a level. There's a level there that you understand your kindred spirit.
Yeah, it's so true. Jennifer, you're just the best.
Yeah.
I'm so tickled to know you, and I do want to stay in touch with you. Where in Florida are you moving? So anyone who's listening or watching this, maybe they can find you.
We're moving to Tampa. We don't know exactly where yet.
Okay.
He's working at MacDill. So he's gonna go, he's gonna be stationed at MacDill. We're hoping to be somewhere within an hour of MacDill so that he's not on the road too long every day. So we're looking at
Nice.
the greater Tampa area. But honestly, I'm probably looking at, like, the Riverview area, if you have any viewers in that area.
Okay, Riverview fans and friends, we want you to find Jennifer. We're going to be posting this video on YouTube. So leave a comment in YouTube if you want to be a friend and help build some amazing community. Offer advice about things to do. Positive people unite. Hey, grumpy people, join the positive camp. Just whatever. And also, Jennifer, just so that you know, we are going to be doing monthly virtual wish circles at Wishbeads. I have an amazing event that I'm producing on March 28th. It's our Wishbeads concert that we're going to be live streaming. I feel like if you are looking for a tribe of people that are ready to show up, make personal changes, and make the world a brighter place, then join us, because I can truly see you being a real community voice that we can all learn from, truthfully learn from, and be inspired by. So we'll talk again, but these are all the ways in which my focus this year in 2020 is to really build that community, help people connect with one another, because Wishbeads is so much more than inspirational jewelry. It's really an invitation to connect to the deepest part of yourself and to have the tools and support and inspiration to take action towards your deepest desires, hence make your wishes come true. So that's what I'm all about. And I feel like you just would be, such a shining star in our community. So please, please, please stay connected.
Oh, I will. Thank you.
Yay.
Thanks for giving me this venue. Would you like to see some of the cute things?
Yes, I would. I'd like a tour of the National Shrine. Okay.
Are you there?
Yeah, no, I'm here.
Okay, so this is our dugout.
Oh my gosh, this is awesome.
These are all the bobbleheads that my husband and I have collected. That he's just a really huge fan. He's a big sports guy. And I don't know if you follow Star Wars, but this is Sean Doolittle, and he's a big Star Wars fan. So they did Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh my gosh, that is fantastic. Wow.
And then, we have the Zimmerman signed batting helmet.
Whoa.
Very fun. Yeah, I know, we were very excited. This was one of the first things I bought my husband. He really wanted it. I couldn't find it anywhere. I finally found it, and honestly think that's why he fell in love with me. And this is our secondary bobblehead dugout because we just outgrew the first one.
Oh my gosh, fantastic.
And so now I guess we're gonna have to be Ray fans, Tampa Bay Rays. We're always gonna be hometown proud, but we love the Nationals.
Oh my goodness, I absolutely love it. Well, these teams they are lucky to have you all as fans. That's all I can say. I have a hat. I can't say I think I have a shirt too, but I got to work on my bobblehead collection.
Oh yeah, well, I've got bobbleheads for days, so we might have doubles. Awesome.
So great. Oh my gosh, Jennifer, good luck with all of your next move. Thank you for sharing your story. I am so honored to know you. And may your wishes come true. I bet those people in Tampa are going to be so lucky to have your bright and shiny spirit in their community. Truly.
Great to talk to you. Thank you very much.
Amazing. Jennifer, you are the best. I am so excited that we got to do this. Truthfully, this is incredible.
Are we done?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll cut. I mean, I'm still recording, but I'll cut it right there.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I get a little nervous. I don't know what to say, but I thought it was pretty good.
Oh my gosh, you were amazing. You're a total natural, really, truthfully. And I honestly, I mean, I'm so thrilled. Are you going to be teaching as well in the Tampa area?
Not for the first. Like when you leave mid-year, it's hard to find a job. You have to find a job in like August.
Of course, yeah.
So like you find your job in like the summer, but you don't start until September. That's
Sure.
My plan is to start in September somewhere. Hopefully.
Oh my gosh. They would be so lucky to have you. You are just the best. You're like, thank God there are teachers like you, truthfully. It's just so wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, well, and I do mean that. This is really the year for me to build community. So I will just be sure to keep you in the loop, like as we're developing our Facebook group. I mean, honestly, I just feel like you could be such a wonderful contributor. And
Oh, thank you.
and maybe you can, I don't know, I don't even know what that looks like right now, but we'll just stay connected. And I'm going to edit the podcast and I'll let you know when it's going to go live. And then the only other tiny thing, if you would indulge me, just after we're finished, while you're all set up, would you mind just filming a little testimonial video in front of your shrine with your bracelet, and just like a 30-second something that I could then use for Wishbeads just as a standalone thing?
Oh, something that says the story really quickly?
Yeah. Just like a little testimonial about your Wishbeads experience. I mean, it can be longer too. It can be a minute if you wanted to, but I just think it would be a wonderful teaser to our podcast, but also a great way to just share your story.
Okay. Sounds great. Yeah, I can do that.
Jennifer, you're the best.
Do you want me to send that to you like an Apple download or?
Exactly. Whatever easy way you know how to do that, because chances are it might be a little bit of a big-ish file. But yeah, however is the best way. Sometimes they'll condense it or they'll just send you a link and then I'll download it. That would be amazing.
Okay.
And then I don't know if you have any images that you want me to use, because on our podcast, we also have a standalone image. And if you don't have some people don't have like proper headshots or whatever, but if you want to also just take a little picture of you with the bracelet and your Nationals hat, that could be awesome too.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I have teacher headshots, but that's probably not what you want, right?
Yeah. I mean, we probably actually with the bracelet would be even better with your hat because you look adorable. Yeah. But I know it's a little bit like selfie style, but I think that's cool. Like, I think the more real, the better. So I think the video and an image would be amazing. And then if you have any links, like honestly, if you want people to connect with you in any way, if you have a Facebook, or if you want to find you on Facebook, or if you want to not have any contact information, just let me know.
If you've got a second, I'll show you something. I have a website, but my website is for my book that I wrote. And
you wrote a book?
Yeah.
Tell me about your book. Wait a minute. We can go back in and we can edit this and we can add a whole section about your book. I want to promote you.
Let me just show it. I have a framed copy up here. You see, my house is so empty.
Oh my gosh, you've been busy packing up.
Yeah. So it's, let me see if I can flip this.
Oh, what is this? Oh my goodness. Is it a kid's book?
Yeah, it's a children's book. And
what's your website? No, we are going to add on to this podcast, okay? And we're going to cut this and be like, oh my God, wait, part 2. Do you have a copy of the actual book?
Yeah, I have to go get it from the basement.
Okay. Because we are gonna do a part 2. And what is your website?
militarypicturebooks.com.
Okay. What is going on? I am so excited.
I used to be, before I was a teacher, I was a nanny a long time ago. And I wrote a book because the little, me and the mother of the family wrote the book. Because we had 4 little kids, and through happenstance, the father and the mother were both gone at the same time.
Oh my.
And I was watching them while they were away. So we had created this book, and we decided that it was a good book, and a lot of people didn't have access to, with the rise of women in the military and women in the workforce in general. There was a surplus of really great media for families that needed it with parents that were deploying, but there wasn't a lot that showed anything that really reflected the reality of children's mothers leaving that was well done. So we decided to go and get it illustrated by a real illustrator. And, you know, we wrote this book, and we kind of backed it. In the back of the book, there's like all these like websites and helpful hints and things like that, because it's a difficult situation to be alone with the family of a deployed soldier.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Jennifer. What we're going to do is, you have the book with you now?
I do. I have, yeah. I
Okay.
can flip to a couple of pages if you want.
Yeah, so let's put the camera back where you had it positioned before.
Okay.
And because we're going to do, literally, I'm going to cut to, this is a part 2 of the, and I'm going to explain what happened, how we were wrapping up. And then I discovered this whole other thing, because I want to be able to promote this to everybody. Okay. Okay, and then before we launch into it, we'll just, okay, great. And then if you can, yeah, get back in frame. And then I just want to make sure we're framing it so we can see the book as well.
Okay.
Okay, great. And
I'm so short in this
it is all good.
tiny little.
Okay, it's perfect. Okay, great. Now move a little bit closer into the frame. That's amazing. And then when you hold it up, you can even hold it up over a little bit over to your right shoulder. Perfect. Oh my God, that's perfect. Stay right there. Okay. Okay. So we'll reveal, I'll have you reveal the book at a certain point. There we go. And I'm just going to launch into this now. Okay. We're going to do a part 2. Okay. So this is a part 2, because Jennifer and I were wrapping up our podcast, and I was kind of going over some logistics of, tell me how, maybe people can get in touch with her and all of that. And then, oh my goodness, I discovered this whole other aspect of Jennifer that we are now going to include in this podcast as well. What I did not know, that she is a published author, and she collaborated on a really beautiful, important children's book. And so Jennifer, let's dive back in. I want you to tell me a little bit about the other amazing aspects that you are working on. Tell us a little bit about your book.
Oh, it's a book about mothers that have deployed and the families that they leave behind. I used to be a nanny. I worked for a dual military couple before I was a teacher. And at one point, through circumstance, there was a period of time where both of the parents were not in household. And I realized when I was looking for help, and I didn't have all it's difficult to be a parent, because you've got all the extemporaneous pressures of being a parent, and you still have to find support for your family. I didn't have any of that. I was the nanny. They took care of everything, but it was still very difficult to be left without the kind of support that you needed, because they had a surplus of things for fathers that deployed. But the fact is, in reality, there are more and more women entering the military service, and there are more and more women deploying, and therefore more and more mothers deploying. And there's not a lot of fiction or help books or anything that reflect that. It's just like, how to change pronouns, just do it. So
yeah,
we wound up, the mother that deployed and her name is Vanette Monteith.
she and I collaborated on a story, and we told it to the kids, and we used it and it helped, and we had friends that used it and helped. And we thought it was a nice story, and people were like, I really wish you could buy this, and you just couldn't, because I didn't want to draw the pictures myself. I'm not that kind of artist.
Mm-hmm.
So we hired an illustrator, and they illustrated it for us. And after many years of kind of toting it around, somebody picked us up for publication. And
Yay! So show us your book, your beautiful book. It's a children's book called When Mommy's Job is Far Away. And it's a social emotional support story that's specifically geared towards moms in the military.
Yes, deployed mothers, because, you know, a lot of times you'll have, you know, kids can tell the different gender specific differences are easy for children to see. Mm-hmm. So we chose instead to use animals. And the animals, that way, if you're a certain ethnicity, or if you have red frizzy hair, and, you know, like if you have a certain attribute and you don't see yourself in this story, you're not going to put it down. Like you will finish the story, and you can actually probably place yourself into the body of a cat or a dog quicker than you can put yourself into a person that's not like you.
Exactly.
So
Wonderful.
we wound up using animals to tell the story. And we actually did say mom's job is far away, because there are so many great books out there that explain that dads go away and dads come back, but there's not a lot that is reflecting that upward trend in women in the military. There's not a lot of fiction for children that helps support on their level. And with my teaching background and with her military background, we put together a book that, like, at the end combines all of our wisdom and gives you a few pages of ideas. The book itself contains ideas that can ease, you know, the angst of the children, keep the bonds of the family very strong. It's a really nice little book.
Oh my goodness, Jennifer, I'm absolutely thrilled. I'm glad that we stumbled upon this information, and we can include this in the podcast for anyone listening or watching. Go to militarypicturebooks.com. Check out this amazing book, When Mommy's Job is Far Away. I also, are there more books that are coming out in the series?
So there are books that we've been working on in the series.
Great.
But we haven't finished, like I'm moving, she's military, so
sure.
Like things come up. But there are things like permanent change of station, you know, just things that would be less specific towards one gender or another. It's more like military life.
I think that is so important, and I so applaud the work that you're doing. And yay, you're taking your talent, your energy, your positive outlook, your unique experiences, and providing an invaluable resource for families and children. It is so huge. I'm kind of not surprised just having met you, but I'm so grateful that our kind of wrap-up conversation led to this beautiful, beautiful discovery. Thank you for sharing.
Well, thank you. And it's available. You don't have, like, I'd love people to visit my website. It has a lot of extra information that I think is very helpful to deployed families, but it's also available on Amazon and in Kindle. So
wonderful. So do check out the book, When Mommy's Job is Far Away. Check it out on Amazon, Kindle. We're going to provide links to everything so you can check out the show notes and be able to find our amazing friend Jennifer and learn from her her co-authors. So thank you, Jennifer. I'm so happy we did this.
Thank you.
Yay. And again, thank you for your service. Thank you for how you show up in the world in such a positive way. It's a shining example for all of us. Yeah, you're amazing.
Thank you. I'm embarrassed.
You know, and it's hard to, you created something, right? I know this. I'm someone who's been a creator for a long, long time. And it is that moment where you're like, oh, I made this thing. Do you like it? And it feels a little shy. But when you realize that it's not about us, it's about the people that you're going to help, then you tap into the courage to share it. Like you could tell me without even thinking about your love of the Nationals and the story, but it's almost like the real baby, the real thing that is something that you poured your heart and soul into, we all find that little place where we get a little. So in my moments as a business owner, when I want to grow, my goal is to get millions of people wishing, whether they buy jewelry or not. I want them to buy jewelry. That helps me grow my company, which helps me in turn grow my mission. But my bigger mission is to have millions of people discovering how powerful they are to be a positive force in this world. And so those moments when I get shy or I have a setback or I have to deal with a lot of details, doing things that I don't naturally love doing, I remember what my bigger goal is and I get over myself.
Well,
so
then
I
I'm
can get
going
back
to get
and
over
to help.
myself right now and say, if there is a mother who needs deployed media for her children, send me an email, because we can work something out to where I can get you some information. And I can also, anybody that gets a book that is military automatically gets the Kindle copy, so that if they want to, through connection, they can connect with their children while reading the book.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Oh my goodness, that's so beautiful.
And that's not just easy to do on Amazon. You have to email me, but I can make it happen. That's
fantastic. So if people go to militarypicturebooks.com, is there a contact form there?
Yeah, there is. They can contact us, and I have the email there. And if you know of someone that's deployed and you want the book specifically for a deployed soldier, we can give you the 2 copies so that they can read to each other. Their bonds just stay. There's Read Across America, and there's a lot of research that says when you read with someone, your bonds are stronger in younger ages. It doesn't just help them cognitively, it helps them emotionally. And when their parents are far away, it really makes them feel nearer.
That's amazing. Anyone listening or watching, if this resonates with you, this idea of helping Jennifer and her team connect with other military families, this is how we help one another. You know, I just stumbled on this through Wishbeads, but if anyone listening to this, and I will continue to actually do a little research on my own, Jennifer, ways that we can get your book in front of more military families so that we can help families and children through this really critical time, I am all in. So I'll follow up with you personally, but anybody listening to this, again, this is the power of sharing your wish work, the projects that you're passionate about. When you open your mouth, when you have that little courage, you know, to say, this is something that I'm working on, and you understand the why, who you are helping, you end up overcoming that piece of you that feels a little shy, a little bit whatever about it, because it's really not even about you. It's about your gift and whose lives that you're going to touch. So let's support Jennifer and her team. Let's get this book in the hands of military families and the children who need them, and so that we can spread the love. Let's do it.
Great.
I'm going to put that in a wish bead, Jennifer.
Thank you. Yes.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Well, you and I will follow up offline. I'll give you all kinds of ideas. I love this stuff and I believe in what you're doing. But again, anyone who wants to reach out with Jennifer, go to militarypicturebooks.com, click on the contact us. You are going to get a direct line to Jennifer, and you can share your great ideas and opportunities.
Yay, thank you.
Yay! Okay, this is the end of the podcast again.
Yeah.